First of all, thank you guys so much for all the sweet messages you sent me after yesterday's episode where I was.
Disney's growing unease with Ryan Reynolds has now reached a point where industry insiders are calling it one of the most surprising strategic pivots in recent Hollywood memory, and for a studio known for playing it safe and maintaining tight control over its brand, the signs are pointing toward a calculated move that could see one of its most bankable stars slowly edged out of the Marvel machine. A move that not only affects Reynolds' future, but also reveals a deeper strategy that connects to controversies swirling around his wife, Blake Lively, and her escalating legal war with online content creators. The situation begins with Deadpool, a franchise that Ryan Reynolds almost single-handedly transformed into a global box office juggernaut, with the first two films pulling in nearly $1.66 billion worldwide and redefining what an R-rated superhero film could achieve, making Deadpool a once-in-a-generation property for Disney after it acquired Fox and folded the character into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yet despite the staggering success of Deadpool and Wolverine, which grossed $1.3 billion and was hailed, as a game-changing crossover, Disney has, to the shock of fans and analysts alike, quietly placed Deadpool 4 as a lower priority on its development slate, even as Marvel struggles to regain its pre-pandemic box office dominance. This is puzzling because in a marketplace where studios are desperate for sure things, Deadpool should have been a slam dunk, but instead Disney is channeling its resources toward projects it perceives as safe bets, like Black Panther 3 and a new Young X-Men franchise, effectively sidestepping Reynolds despite his proven record. And this shift isn't just about market trends. It's about control, brand management, and the avoidance of reputational risk. According to multiple reports, Reynolds' marketing agency, Maximum Effort, became embroiled in backlash over promotional campaigns tied to the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's bestseller, It Ends With Us, which starred Blake Lively, and the missteps were seen as tone-deaf enough to tarnish Reynolds' previously unshakable public image, creating a ripple effect that Disney, ever protective of its family-friendly brand, couldn't ignore, especially given its history of swiftly distancing itself from stars who attract the wrong kind of headlines, a pattern seen before with Johnny Depp's removal from the Pirates of the Caribbean series amid legal disputes and Gina Carano's sudden firing from The Mandalorian after controversial social media posts. While Reynolds hasn't displayed the same level of polarizing behavior, the mere association with ongoing lawsuits and PR scandals tied to Maximum Effort appears to have made him a risk in Disney's eyes. And here's where the connection to Blake Lively's aggressive legal tactics comes in. Her team has been accused of waging an intimidation campaign against online critics of It Ends With Us, serving invasive subpoenas to creators on TikTok and YouTube who had posted negative commentary about the film, with demands for personal information like IP addresses, SIM card details, banking records, and contact lists. An extraordinary escalation that critics say crosses the line from seeking accountability into outright harassment. Many of these creators, such as the team behind Pop Diaries and YouTuber Lauren from Quarter Random Opinion, say they weren't even properly notified before deadlines to respond had passed, learning about court filings via social media instead. And the legal pressure placed on them has been devastating, draining their resources and leaving them scrambling to protect their privacy while fighting for protective orders and even sanctions against Lively's lawyers, with Lauren publicly accusing Lively's camp of trying to silence dissent through legal overreach. The prevailing theory is that these moves were less about the specific criticisms and more about setting an example, sending a warning to other creators that speaking negatively about a celebrity's project can have real-world consequences. And in the eyes of many, this mirrors Disney's own brand protection playbook. Both are cases of powerful entities using their leverage to control narratives and eliminate potential threats to their image, regardless of the collateral damage. The parallel is striking. Disney appears to be managing Reynolds out of its high-priority lineup, not because of box office concerns, but because of the messy optics of his proximity to controversy, just as Lively's legal team has sought to clamp down on independent voices who challenged her work, and in both cases the underlying tactic is the same. Mitigate risk before it can cause lasting harm, even if that means sidelining talent or intimidating critics. This calculated caution comes at a cost, not just for the individuals involved, but for the broader creative ecosystem. Because while Disney's pivot to Black Panther 3 and a Young X-Men may keep the brand safe in the short term, it signals to Hollywood that even the most bankable stars are expendable if they become even slightly inconvenient. And for independent creators, the message is equally chilling. If a celebrity or corporation chooses to target you, the legal and financial imbalance is so severe that fighting back can feel almost impossible, especially when subpoenas demand sensitive personal data and litigation can drag on without resolution. In Reynolds' case, sources suggest that Disney CEO Bob Iger himself has grown frustrated with the ongoing drama. And while Reynolds reportedly insists on pressing forward with the legal fight to defend both himself and Blake, the optics are undeniably bad. Turning off Instagram comments to avoid public backlash, watching rumors of a potential divorce surface, and dealing with speculation that his stubbornness is keeping the lawsuits alive rather than letting them settle. Meanwhile, Disney's move to deprioritize Deadpool 4 after the historic success of its predecessor has shocked the industry, leaving many to wonder whether the studio is willing to sacrifice financial upside in the name of corporate image management, and whether Reynolds' tenure as one of Marvel's crown jewels is coming to an end. For now, Deadpool and Wolverine stands as both a potential swan song and a possible redemption arc. But the bigger takeaway is that in today's Hollywood, reputation management and risk avoidance often trump creative ambition or fan demand. And, as both the Disney-Reynolds dynamic and the Lively vs. Creators legal saga show, the real power lies not in box office numbers or social media clout, but in who controls the narrative, and how far they're willing to go to protect it. In Hollywood's current climate, power doesn't just influence the narrative, it controls it entirely, and the recent moves by Disney and Blake Lively illustrate just how far that control can go. Corporations and celebrities alike are tightening their grip on public perception, and in the process, smaller voices are being left to fight for their right to speak at all. Ryan Reynolds, despite delivering one of Marvel's biggest box office wins with Deadpool and Wolverine, has found himself deprioritized by Disney, not because of a drop in profitability, but because whispers of legal trouble tied to his marketing. Company, maximum effort, and the bad PR from It Ends With Us controversial promotion made him look like a liability to the studio's brand. Disney's decision to shift its focus towards safer projects like Black Panther 3 and a younger X-Men reboot reflects a broader industry trend. Prioritize predictability over innovation, safety over risk, and image over loyalty. The parallels to Lively's ongoing legal war with online critics are impossible to ignore. Content creators on TikTok and YouTube, including Pop Diaries and Lauren from Quarter Random Opinion, posted negative commentary on It Ends With Us and soon found themselves hit with aggressive subpoenas demanding invasive personal information. Names, IP addresses, SIM card data, banking details, without even being formally notified in time to respond. For these creators, it wasn't just a legal inconvenience, it was a full-blown intimidation tactic. Lauren fought back by seeking a protective order, openly accusing Lively's legal team of harassment, while Pop Diaries spoke out about the shock and stress the subpoenas caused, including how the ordeal disrupted their personal lives. Support for these creators has swelled, with figures like Andy Signore of Popcorn Planet rallying audiences to help fund legal defenses, framing the fight as part of a much larger battle for First Amendment rights in the entertainment industry. But the implications go far beyond a single lawsuit or one sidelined Marvel star. This is a modern version of the old Hollywood system, when studios dictated every aspect of a star's public and private image, except now the control extends into the digital space, where corporations and celebrities can use their resources to push back against independent critics in real time. The digital era, which once promised equal opportunity for voices big and small, now carries the threat that one viral TikTok or YouTube video could lead to costly, life-disrupting legal action. If these tactics take hold as a new standard, they won't be confined to Hollywood. Other industries could easily adopt similar suppression methods, extending this chilling effect into journalism, politics, and beyond. At its core, the issue is about control. Who has it, who loses it, and how far the powerful will go to keep it. When billion-dollar corporations and A-list celebrities can use lawsuits or strategic distancing to silence dissent, they're not just protecting their own reputations, they're reshaping the boundaries of free speech itself. The stakes for independent voices couldn't be higher, and if audiences value the ability to hold the powerful accountable, supporting these creators now through sharing their stories, amplifying their voices, or contributing to their legal battles isn't just solidarity, it's self-preservation. Because if Hollywood's current trajectory continues, the freedom to criticize without fear might soon belong only to those who can afford to fight back. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. My channel Corivanta,